Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So tonight we're reading from Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 4, text number 13. This is a very well-quoted verse. Chaturvayam maya srishtam guna karma vighagashaha tasya kartam apimam vidya kartaram avyayam. Word for word. Chaturvarnyam, four divisions of human society. Maya, by me. Krishtam, created. Guna, of quality. Karma, and work. Vihagasaha, in terms of division. Asya, of that. Ataram, the Father. Api, although. Mam, me. Vidhi, you may know. Akartaram, as the non-doer. Avayam, unchangeable. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. Although I'm the creator of this system, you should know that I'm yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. Purport. The Lord is the creator of everything. Everything is born of Him. Everything is sustained by Him. Everything, after annihilation, rests in Him. He is therefore the creator of the four divisions of the social order, beginning with the intelligent class, technically called Brahmanas, due to their being situated in the mode of goodness. Next, the administrative class, technically called Kshatriyas, due to their being situated in the mode of passion. The mercantile class, called the Vaishyas, are situated in the mixed mode, passion and ignorance, and the Sudras laborers are situated in the ignorant mode of material nature. In spite of His creating the four divisions of human society, Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these divisions, because He is not one of the conditioned souls, a section of whom form human society. Human society is similar to any other animal society, but the only man from animal status. The above-mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for the systematic development of Krishna consciousness. The tendency of a particular man toward work is determined by the modes of material nature which he's acquired. Substance of life, according to the different modes of material nature, are described in the 18th chapter of this book. A person in Krishna consciousness, however, is above even the Brahmanas. Although Brahmanas by quality are supposed to know about Brahman, the Supreme Absolute Truth, most of them approach only the impersonal Brahman manifestation of Lord Krishna. If a man who transcends the limited knowledge of a Brahmana reaches the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Shri Krishna. Because a person in Krishna consciousness, in other words, a Vaishnava, a Vaishnava. We'll read that again. The man who transcends the limited knowledge of a Brahmana, reaches the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Krishna, becomes a person in Krishna consciousness, in other words, a Vaishnava. Krishna consciousness includes knowledge of all different planetary expansions of Krishna, namely Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha, etc. And as Krishna is transcendental to the system of the four divisions of human society, a person in Krishna consciousness is also transcendental to all divisions of human society. Whether we consider the division of community, nation, or species. Om-Arganataram Dasya Jananjana Sakha Sakshuramitam Zena Tasmei Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namanobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Danti Swapanantikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And it is said, by the mercy of the spiritual master, a dumb man can speak elegant words, such as myself, a lame man can cross mountains, and a dog can swim across the ocean. Translation once again. According to the three modes of material nature, work ascribed associated with them, four divisions of human society are created by me. Although I am the creator of this system, you should know I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. So this verse, not so easy to understand. Krishna says he's the non-doer, but at the same time, he is the doer of everything. So how to justify that? Now this section of Bhagavad-Gita, text 11 to 15, talks about Krishna as the goal of all paths and the creation of an ashram system. So Krishna is the non-doer because Krishna made the system, but he's undeviated and impartial and detached in all circumstances. One time the gopis wanted to go across the Yamuna to give a feast to the Rasa Muni. So when they got to the Yamuna, there was a storm, heavy waves, and no boats. So they couldn't cross. So they asked Krishna, what should we do? So they said, Krishna said, you say to the Yamuna that Krishna is a brahmachari. So they laughed. How can Krishna be a brahmachari? He's always associating with us gopis. But anyway, they did that. They said Krishna's a brahmachari. And the Yamuna departed and they walked across the Yamuna. Then they went to the ashram of Devasa Muni and they gave him a big feast. He ate a big feast. So they were coming back, the same problem. They couldn't get across the Yamuna because there was a big storm and no boat. So they asked Devasa Muni what they should do. Well, Devasa Muni said that you should tell the Yamuna that Devasa Muni only eats dhruva grass. So they laughed at this. How is this possible? You just ate a big feast. So they did that. Yamuna parted and they walked across. So the point is that Krishna may dance with the gopis in the middle of the night, may have 16,108 wives in Dwarka. They all think Krishna is their hand-picked husband. But Krishna is always undeviated impartial, and detached. So Krishna never is affected by the modes of material nature, and his having rasa lila has nothing to do with lust or sex desire of this material world. It's the difference between a gold and iron, or day and night. So Durvasa Muni the same way. He was never ate a feast, but he was not motivated by sense gratification. So either way, Krishna or Durvasa Muni were not implicated by, they have no desire for sense gratification, therefore they're completely detached from the material world. So Krishna may have so many girlfriends and may do so many things that seem immoral, but Krishna, these are all on the spiritual platform, have nothing to do with the material platform. So it says Krishna is the non-doer. So how is Krishna the non-doer? Because he's impartial, he's a super soul, and he does not directly. He's created this system, as it's stated. Stated in the Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna says, I know everything that happened in the past, all is happening in the present, and all is yet to come. I also know all living entities, but no one knows me. So, the difference between Krishna and an ordinary living being, he's not partial, he's transcendental. So in that sense, he's not the doer. And he created this system, Varnashram system, but he's not in the Varnashram system, and he's not subject to the results of this system. And it's inconceivable. He's not contaminated, nor is he transformed. In the Brahma Samhita, it says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Ananda Adir Govindam Sarvakara Karanam. It also says that there are many incarnations of the Lord, and Ramani Marteshu the different incarnations of the Lord are coming like the waves in the ocean, the waves of the river. No one can count them. Ramadi Marteshu Kala Niyamena Titistam Nana Vataram Akaro Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Sambhavat Paramam Pumanyo Govinda Mauri Pusha Tamaha Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primal Lord, who manifests himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in forms of Rama, Nrsimha, etc., as his subjective portions. So, Krishna comes to this world as the Atma Maya by his internal potency. He plays the role of an ordinary human being. When Krishna was heard that Shalva was a friend of Shishupal, and when Shishupal was killed by Krishna, Shalva wanted to destroy the Yadu dynasty. So he played the Lord Shiva, and he got an airplane which could fly in the sky and not be seen, and he could do so many mysterious things. So he was attacking Dwarka, and Krishna heard this, he came to Dwarka. So Shalva at one point played a trick on Krishna. He brought Krishna's father, Vasudeva, in front of Krishna, and then he cut off his head and took the body away. And Krishna was lamenting that now, oh, my father's dead. How is this possible? But he was lamenting like an ordinary human being because he's playing the role of a human being. But he knew that it wasn't possible for Sava to kill his father. It was just a trick of the illusory trick. So sometimes Krishna acts like an ordinary human being. Maya, and Krishna says that he reserves the right to be known. So if one is not a devotee, bhakti-yoga bhajananti, if one has not performed devotional service, he can't know Krishna, even Krishna is standing in front of him. And Duryodhana, when Krishna went to Duryodhana to try to make a peace settlement before the battle of Kurukshetra, at one point Duryodhana wanted to arrest Krishna. So Krishna then showed him his universal form. Then, of course, he couldn't arrest him. But Duryodhana still couldn't understand Krishna's position. So it's misunderstood. People misunderstood. They think Krishna is an ordinary human being. Or the Mayavadis and impersonalists think that Krishna comes in this material world, but he accepts a material body. But we know Krishna has Satchidananda body. His body is not like our body. His body is always spiritual. And Krishna took birth and grew up. When he got to the age of 16, he never got older than 16. On the battle of Kurukshetra, he was 120 years old, but he still looked like he was 16 or 20. So in many ways, Krishna proved that he was the Supreme Personality, Godhead. By reading Krishna book, we can understand the different pastimes of Krishna and understand Krishna is not an ordinary human being. And he lifted Govardhan hill. He showed Mother Yasoda his universal form 2 times. He did so many different things. But Krishna is the creator of this Varnashram system. When Lord Chaitanya met Ramananda Roy, he asked Ramananda Roy how to attain the highest goal of life. Ramananda Roy replied by following the Varnashram Dharma system. But Lord Chaitanya said that that was external and you should speak further. The Varnashram Dharma is a system created by the Lord in which the human civilization can live in a organized, peaceful way. Today, the whole society is in a chaotic condition. People aren't peaceful, people aren't happy, there's no division between the different people and different qualities that people have. Closed Sudra Sambhava, everybody is Sudra or less than Sudra. Even the government leaders are all Sudras. So they elect one tiger to be the president or prime minister, and then after he's finished, they elect another lion to take his place. So there's not much difference, whoever's in charge. So formerly, there was the Raja, the kings were saintly kings. Evam parampara praptam imam rajasa vidu. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad-Gita to Arjuna, who was a Kshatriya, and the saintly kings understood the Bhagavad-Gita and would rule the people for the welfare of the people. When Prithu Maharaj was ruling the people, everyone thought he was like their father. When Ram was ruling the people, everyone thought he was their father, and it was Treta Yuga, but it seemed like Satya Yuga because he was such a good king. When Maharaj Yudhishthira was the king, everyone was peaceful and happy. The cows were happy. They had so much milk in their milk bags that they were muddying the pasturing grounds with the milk from the milk bag. But nowadays, cows are, if you go to a farm where they have cows, a milk dairy farm, the cows are not happy because they know they're going to the slaughterhouse. You can't get near the cows, you can't pet the cows. But if you go to a Krishna conscious farm, you can easily pet the cows are happy because they know they're not going to go to a slaughterhouse. So there's 4 divisions of 4 divisions of Varnashram system. There's the Brahmins who are in the mode of goodness, peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, religion, religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas were. Kshatriyas are in the mode of passion, heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, leadership are the natural qualities for which the Kshatriyas work. And the Vaishyas are in the mode of passion and ignorance, farming, cow protection, business, or the natural work for the Vaishyas, and Shudras are labor, or is a Shudra, there is labor and service to others. This is also described in the 7th canto. We just finished reading the 7th canto, in chapter 11 to 15. So the farmer, the Vaishyas are supposed to protect the cows, and the Sudras are supposed to serve the other classes. They're supposed to be honest, they're supposed to be clean, they're supposed to be respectful. Not like nowadays you hire someone to clean your house, and when you go away they steal your money or take your cell phone and go away. So the Sudra's not like that. That's not a Sudra. That's the closed Sudra, someone less than a Sudra. And there are so many saintly kings described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Maharaj Prithu, who was a Chakravarti avatar, Maharaj Rishabdev, who was incarnation of the Lord, Maharaj Ambarish, Maharaj Shibi, so many different kings who were saintly kings, and they were not just interested in their own sense gratification. When Jarasandha had in prison 20,800 kings because they failed to show respect to him. So Krishna went there to Jarasandha and killed Jarasandha and liberated all those kings. They'd been in prison for some time. Their dress had become very niggardly or very torn and dirty, and they became very lean and thin for sufficient diet. So Krishna came there and spoke to all the kings and told that they gave him new clothes, gave him nice food, cleaned him up. And Krishna told them, now you go back to your kingdom, but you do not have children just out for sex, out of sex life. You should give up illicit sex and rule people according to religious principles and protect the citizens. So that's the real Kshatriya. And Brahmanas are supposed to be the leaders of society. Formerly kings would rely on the Brahmanas with the advice take advice from the Brahmanas and how to rule the people. When King Vena, they made Vena the king, and he was a very cruel person, and therefore he didn't rule the people according to religious principles. So they tried to instruct Vena, and but despite the fact they tried to instruct him, they were not able to change him, so they killed him. So this is the 4 divisions: Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. So Krishna is the non-doer, and we should not blame Krishna for our suffering. Krishna is non-partial. He's the Ambija Apita. He's the father of all living entities. He's non-partial. But material nature is awarding the living entity his enjoyment or suffering according to their pious and impious activities. When Dhruva Maharaj was ruling the planet for 36,000 years, his brother was killed by some yakshas. So Dhruva Maharaj went on the warpath and had a battle with the yakshas, killing many yakshas. So for one man's activity, so many people had to suffer. So Swayambhuva Manu came there and requested Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting, because he said, for one man's action, you're killing so many other people unnecessarily. And he also said, actually, these people were not killed by you, and your brother was not killed by the Yakshas, but it was their destiny. And so it's our karma, our prabdha karma from previous life determines our destiny in this life and in the next life. So we go from boyhood to youth to old age, and we take birth again in another body, in another planet or another place, and we again take up the karma, goes with the living entity, or the subtle body, the mind, intelligent, false ego, accompanies the soul from one body to the next, from one planet to the next. In this way, suffering, enjoying, continues. So Krishna is not to blame. Krishna is the overseer and permitter. So if a devotee has some problem, we don't blame Krishna. Shikshukshmana. We think Krishna, that we pray, the devotee prays to Krishna that I'm suffering due to my past misdeeds, but somehow or other he offers respect and keeps always always faithful to Krishna, that he knows that it's not Krishna that's causing him suffering. In this way, it's called Dayabhak. One inherits the property of his father and becomes Krishna conscious. So Lord Chaitanya rejected this system of Varnashram Dharma 2 times. One time when he talked to Ramananda Roy, and another time when he talked to the Tattvavadis in South India, who were followers of Madhvacharya, who were very proud, thinking they knew everything, knew so much. But Lord Chaitanya told them that Varnashram Dharma was not the way to attain perfection. He said the way to attain perfection is by Shravanam Kirtana, Vishnu Smaranam, by following the 9 processes of devotional service. But also, Srimad Bhagavatam does delineate the different, if someone is in the Varna ashram system, that our Lord Chaitanya said, Kiva Vipra Kibiyasi, Sudra Kainai, Ye Krishna Tapavit, say Guru Hoy. Whether one is a Brahmana, or sannyasi, or Sudra, regardless of what he may be, he can become a spiritual master if he knows the science of Krishna. So it's not by birth that one attains his different position. And it says that one may perform his occupation different. The activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the Supreme Personality Godhead. On the other hand, O best among twice born, is therefore concluded the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging duties prescribed for one's occupation according to caste division and order of life is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we don't, Prabhupada said 50% of his mission was not finished because he had not been able to introduce the Varnashram Dharma system. But this Daivi Varnashram system means that these, whether you're a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, at the same time you must be cultivating Krishna consciousness. So simply you do your duty as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra is not enough. It's simply you're wasting your time, Swami Eva Kevalam, if you're not becoming Krishna conscious. So this is to be understood. Even though at whatever position one is in, whether he's the temple president or GBC, he still has to do his duty. At the same time, he has to be cultivating his Krishna consciousness and trying to develop his love for Krishna and trying to get free from anarthas and material desires and trying to come to the mode of pure goodness, sattva gun, Shuddha sattva. So either way, these two, the Varnashram Dharma system was there, but it can't be followed today, but some devotees are trying to implement it in different farm communities like Bhakti Raghava Swami and others. So they may be able to implement it in some degree in the rural communities, but in the big cities it's not possible unless the government becomes Krishna conscious, and that also is highly unlikely. So this is the thing. Krishna's position and the Varnashram system is there. When Prabhupada came back to India in 1972, he brought his disciples with him. And he had given them Brahman initiation, and somebody gave sannyas. But many people criticized Prabhupada for doing that, saying you have to be born in a Brahmin family. Someone went to Lori Bazaar, and the man in Lori Bazaar said, if you're lucky in your next birth, you'll be born in a Brahmin family in India. They went back and told Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, you go back and tell the man in his next life he can be born in ISKCON. So people still have that misconception that you have to be born in a Brahmin family. But we know Haridas Thakur became the Namacharya. He was born in a Muslim family. Rupa and Sanatana Goswami were ousted from the Brahmin community because they served the Muslims. But they were also were elevated to the higher Paramahansa stage and wrote many books on the science of Krishna consciousness. So although devotees of this movement come from very bad backgrounds and were not qualified, Prabhupada still gave Brahman initiation, knowing well that people were not qualified at that time, but hoping they will come to the standard of becoming Brahmanically qualified. So when Lord Balaram was traveling on pilgrimage, he came to a place where the sages were gathered, and everyone stood up to offer respect to Lord Balaram, except for Roharsana Sutta. Roharsana Sutta was elected to the Vyasa-san. So generally, when someone's sitting on the Vyasa-san, he doesn't have to respect anyone or stand up. But in this case, because Lord Balaram was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he should have stood up and offered respects. So Balaram could understand that Roharsana Sutta was not, didn't come from a proper line family, and was also not qualified to sit on the Vyasa-san, although he was elected to that position and given the chance to become qualified. So Lord Balaram took a blade of kusa grass weapon, and by touching him on the chin with his kusa grass, he killed Roharsana Sutta. So this is the shows that one may be given Brahma initiation, but he's expected to act as a Brahmana. Come to that, become a Brahmana. We just read the qualities of Brahmana: truthful, clean, honest, simple. Brahmanas are not supposed to take any occupation or employment from any other people except for an emergency. Whatever money they get, they should spend it in the same day, not keep any bank balance. Should say depend on Krishna for all their needs. This is real Brahmana. Brahmana, he's supposed to understand Brahman, or the absolute truth. Here it says that generally Brahmanas are impersonalists, want to merge into the Brahman or Mayavadis. These are not real Brahmanas. When Krishna and Balaram were with the cowboys, they said, "We're hungry." The cowboys said, "We're hungry." So Krishna told the cowboys, "You go to the Brahmins. There's some Brahmins performing sacrifice. You go and ask them for some food." So they did that. They went to the Brahmins who were performing sacrifice, and they were all doing everything according to the rituals. So the cowboys said, they offered respects to the Brahmins and said, "Krishna Balaram are hungry. Please give us some food." But the Brahmanas didn't understand the position of Krishna Balaram and ignored the boys. Wouldn't give them anything. So the boys were unhappy. They went back to Krishna and told him what happened. And Krishna said that this is nature. When you go begging or asking for alms, sometimes you're successful and sometimes you're not. And boys go on book distribution. Sometimes they distribute 100 books in one day, or sometimes they can't even distribute one book in one day. So it's all up to Krishna, success or failure. But they make the effort. So Krishna told the cowboys, "Now you go to the wives of the Brahmanas." So they went to the wives of the Brahmanas and they said, "Krishna Balaram are hungry, give us some food." So the wives of Brahmanas were devotees of Krishna. And they loved Krishna, and they said, "Krishna and Balaram are hungry," so they gathered up all the food in their house and immediately went to Krishna and Balaram, even though their husbands objected. Because when a husband does a sacrifice, the wife is supposed to stay there and sit by his side. But they didn't care for their husbands. They only wanted to satisfy Krishna. So they proved that they were more devoted to Krishna and Balaram and better devotees than their husbands. And then they were afraid to go back to their husbands. But Krishna told them that it's okay, you can go back, because your husbands won't reject you. But then the Brahmanas, they realized that they were not real Brahmanas, that they were not, hadn't understood that. They learned from their wives that they hadn't understood that the purpose of their sacrifice, everything they were doing, should be done for the pleasure of Krishna, not simply for sense gratification, to satisfy the demigods, to get some remuneration. So even reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we have many professional Bhagavatam reciters in Vrindavan. The Srimad Bhagavatam should not be recited for any money, should not be recited for remuneration. This is offense to the Srimad Bhagavatam. The reciter Bhagavatam should not ask for money and should not expect people to give him money. Whatever comes on its own, he can accept. Otherwise, it's offense to the Bhagavatam. The same way, chanting the holy name is also should not be done for money. It should be done as a service to Krishna. So, reciting Bhagavatam, chanting the holy name, these are all services. Part of the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, part of the 9 process of devotional service. And Krishna says, Ahaitikiya Padiyata, Svaipum Samparodamo, Yatopakira Hotage, Ahaitikiya Padiyata, Yenama Suprasidati. Devotional service should be unmotivated, uninterrupted. So there should be no motivation. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is a spotless Purana, and there are different verses. Kirta, Huna, Andhra, Punda, Pukaksha, Abhira, Shumba, Yavana, members of the Kasha races, and even the others addicted to sinful acts, can be purified by taking shelter of the voice of the Lord, due to his being the supreme power. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Also, in the 7th canto, it says, if one shows the symptoms of being a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms. So it's guna karma vihagasaha. It's not janma karma. It's not according to your birth. People are very proud that they're born in a Brahmin family. When we went on Sankirtan in America, we'd meet people from India, they'd pull out their Brahmin thread, say, yes, I'm a Brahmin. But we say, what's your occupation? Well, I work in the bank, or I'm a doctor, or this, that. They didn't know what it meant to be a Brahmana. So it's not by birth. It's a misconception people have. And Lord Chaitanya was ordered that his holy name and his Vaishnava culture be spread in every town and village in the world. So, to make people who are not born in Brahmin families into Brahmanas was not something that should not have been done. Prabhupada went to America under the orders of his Lord, the spiritual master, to spread Krishna consciousness, and he gave people Brahman initiation. And he came under criticism from his godbrothers, from the local Brahmanas. When they opened this temple in 1975, the local people, they wouldn't accept our prasadam because it was cooked by devotees, and they thought the devotees were contaminated. But they, later on, one of Prabhupada's godbrothers asked Prabhupada to give him a donation for some project. And Prabhupada said, you won't eat our prasadam because it's contaminated, so how can you accept our money? It's also contaminated. So they won't eat our prasadam, but they'll take our money. So there's the misconception that people have that the people, Western people, can't become Brahmins, can't become sannyasis. But we see in our movement, if someone's following the 4 regulated principles, no meeting, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and working to spread this Krishna consciousness movement, then he considered a first-class man, or first-class Brahmana. Prabhupada wasn't a cheater guru, and he didn't go to America to get name and fame. He went to America to introduce his Vaishnava system, Vaishnava culture. when Lord Chaitanya went to Jagannath Puri, he was asked by the residents of Kaliyagram, who's a Vaishnava, 3 times, 3 years in a row. So Lord Chaitanya said that if one chants the holy name of the Lord 1 time, he's considered a Vaishnava. That's Kanista Adhikari. Then he said that one who chants continuously, he's also a Vaishnava. That's the Madhyama Adhikari. And when people see that person, they chant Hare Krishna, that's Uttama Adhikari. So there's 3 levels of Vaishnavas, Kanista, Madhyam, and Uttama Adhikari. So the Vaishnava is supersedes the Brahmana. One may be a Brahmana and not have developed his love for Krishna. He's considered like a man who owns a cow that doesn't give any milk. But the Vaishnava is a person who has love for Krishna, developing his love for Krishna. So he's automatically a Brahmana. If you have $100 in the bank, you don't worry about $10 or $20. So if one becomes a Vaishnava, he's already a Brahmana, or better than a Brahmana. But it's not just a matter of changing your dress, putting on tilak and dhoti. It's a matter of your activities. Shaitodarpanam marjanam. It's a matter of cleansing the heart, having a pure heart, and coming into the mode of pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva. So this is a real Vaishnava, someone who's in the pure, has purity, is pure, not duplicitous in his dealings, and has come to the stage of anarthana vritti. In devotional service, first there's one develops a little faith, nistha, then first shraddha, then nistha, then bhajana kriya, he takes initiation. First he has some faith, then he starts to associate with devotees, and his faith becomes strong, and then he takes initiation, and then he gives up his anarthas, bhajana kriya. Means he follows the 4 regular principles: no eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. And from there he can come to the stage of nistha, asakti, ruchi, asakti, and bhava, attain bhava, or love of Krishna, which is the preliminary stage to prema. So it's difficult to get past the stage of anarthana vritti, where one is cleansed of all misgivings and all unwanted things. But it is a gradual process. It may take some time, but still we should try our best to give up all our anarthas, unwanted things, and try to develop our love for Krishna, understanding that that is the real goal, not simply to have some designation that I'm a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya, but that I'm trying to develop my love for Krishna. So that's what's being described here. This Varnashram system is meant to help people become elevated to Krishna consciousness. This first sentence here says, Lord created everything, everything is born of Him. It says He created this system for the purpose of making the above mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for the systematic development of Krishna consciousness. The tendency of a fickle man to work is determined by the modes of material nature which he has acquired. A person in Krishna consciousness, however, is above even the Brahmanas. Although Brahmanas by quality are supposed to know about Brahman, most of them are only impersonal Brahmins only know about the impersonal Brahman manifestation of the Lord. So one time, a man, Narada Muni, was walking on the path. He came to a Brahmana, and he asked Narada Muni, "Where are you going?" Well, Narada Muni said, "I'm going to Vaikuntha to see my Lord." So the Brahmin said, "Well, then you ask Lord Vishnu when I will be able to come back to Godhead." Then Narada Muni approached a cobbler, who was a low-class man, and he asked him the same question, "Where are you going?" And so the cobbler said, "You please ask Lord Vishnu when I will be able to come back to Vaikuntha." So the Narada Muni came back to the Brahmana, and the Brahmana asked him, "Did you ask Lord Vishnu when I'm going to come back to Godhead?" And Narada Muni said that it will take some time for you to go back to Godhead. So the Brahmana was a little disappointed, and he asked Narada Muni, what was Lord Vishnu doing? He said he was threading the elephant through an eye of a needle, this way and that way, this way and that way. So the Brahmana said, "I don't believe you. You're just a cheater. You're not speaking the truth." So this man was a Brahmana, but he had no faith in the Lord. So he went to the cobbler. The cobbler asked the same question. The cobbler said that Narada Muni told the cobbler that you will be delivered in a very short time. And the cobbler said, "Well, what was Lord Vishnu doing?" He said he was stringing an elephant to the eye of a needle, this way and that way. And the cobbler said, "That's very wonderful." And Narada Muni says, "How can you believe that?" He said, "Well, there's a little seed of a banyan tree, and when you sow it in the ground, you get a big tree. So how's that possible? So my Lord is so wonderful. He can do anything. Anything's possible. Krishna can make a stone so heavy no one can lift it, then he can lift it himself." So in this way, we have to have faith, shraddha, and firm faith, and understand our position that we're Jiveya Sarupaya Nitya Krishna Das, we're eternal servants of Krishna, and we're not part of this Varnashram system. We're Vaishnavas, and we want to teach people how to become Krishna consciousness so that they will come to the level of human beings and not remain the same as animals. Animals are eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Human beings are eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So there's no difference between human beings and animals unless a human being is cultivating Krishna consciousness. So that's the signal that it's time to end the class. Does anybody have any comments or questions? The question man is not here. So he has a question. Is there a microphone? Microphone for the question man? Question? No? Not working? All right, just ask your question.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your lecture. Beautiful. I'd like to ask a question. Then Pujari come to puja. They always play the mantra. I am not a Brahmana, I am not a sannyasi, I am not a grihastha, I am a servant.
Gopi Bhara Gramala Das Dasanan Das.
Dasananda. And then he leave Pujari room. Yes, he becoming again a Brahmana. He should to pay. Oh, I'm a Brahmana. I'm a grihastha or brahmachari. This is such duality in
No, these are Bali designation. Gopi Bharata Kamala Das Das Anandas. That we're not any of these Bali designations. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. These are only designations of the body. But everyone is eternal servant of Krishna. Has nothing to do with the body. Gopi Bharata Kamala Das Das Sanudas. We're eternal servant of servant of Krishna. In Mukundamala Sutra says Das 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 Sanudas 7 times. That I'm the eternal servant of servant of Krishna. No one can approach Krishna directly, but we have to go to his servant, the spiritual master. So with the servant, the spiritual master, and the spiritual master one has to have a spiritual master who can take us back to Godhead. People say, I know Krishna, but they don't have a spiritual master. So without the spiritual master and then the disciplic succession, one cannot go back to Godhead. So Das Das Tanadas, we always remember Trinadapi Sinichana, Turapi Sishna, Manina Mandana, Kirtana Salari, that we should take the humble position and always try to understand that we're the servants. Whatever position we're in, we're still a servant. We're not the master.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else? Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad-Gita ki jai, Gaur Premanande.